The first year I ran at MVP it must have been 2022. I did 16 yards of that one, and I remember I didn't know anyone here, but there were some bloody good runners I found out. Matt Doobs, Ben Nichols. Ben Nichols won with 41 yards and Doobs was the assist with 40, and I was just blown away by how good they were, because it was a hot year too. It wasn't cold, it was really sunny. The next year I came back and I did 26 yards. And it was the first time I broke 24. And I was really happy with that result, but I think it kind of gave me a false sense of that I thought I was better than I was. So I went to Dead Cow Gully and did 22 yards and drove back with my tail between my legs. And then this year I did MVP and with farms.
The reason I ended up doing a backyard ultra was to beat you, Patto. It's just like, I think you are, like, Patto's like an entry point for everyone. You represent the middleman. And it's like, if you're gonna get in there, everyone's competing with Patto. There's elites, and then there's the big chunk of people, and everyone's competing with Patto, and then there's your guys that just do like seven yards, you know, just your hobbyists. So I think you've probably inspired a few people to lace up and just see how far they can go.
So when you are deep in the MVP pain cave, it's hot and you are feeling sore and tired, what are you going to be telling yourself so you don't stop?
Beat Patto.
I'm joking. Yeah, I'm looking forward to running the course with the Crow. We ran some good. We had a good time running together at Wild Dog, and yeah, I'm looking forward to running more loops with the Crow. That's for sure. I want to beat him this time. Oh, that's right. We are too. We're 1-1. So at Shepparton, I did one more yard than him to finish as the assist, and then at the Wild Dog, he did one more yard than me there. I did 36 and he did 37. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of good runners. I know Joel's going to be back, Tim Kaprazak's going to be there, the Crow, Farms, Drew Vincent's going to be back, I know that. But there's always good runners coming to these races. So a lot of runners are going to be wanting to do well. It's a perfect race to kickstart the year.
Yeah, I think you always like to start off the year with a bang. So my goal is just to do what the body's capable, which I know it's capable of big numbers. Yeah, this is my local, this is my jam, this is the Crow's hometown, so I love it, it's good. We're 11 weeks away, the road to MVP, yeah, it's looking good. We've got a lot of training hours in, and we're trying to do anywhere between 100 to 130 Ks a week, and trying to add as much hills as we can.
I think basically I just try and do 100K weeks, and how I tried to do that in the past was just by splitting it evenly over 7 days. So I do like 13 Ks every day plus an extra bit on Sundays. But I think I've realised that if you have too much of a fixed pattern, you sort of overuse things, or you can strain certain things or not let things recover. So I think this time I'm going to try and do more randomised the runs, so do some longer ones, maybe a couple of 50Ks and a 30K and some 20s, and then try not to do so many 10 to 13K runs. I think that I don't feel that good if I just do a lot of those in the body.
Yeah, the special thing about backyard ultras is that, one, it never ends. It's up to you when it ends. And I think at each backyard ultra, you not only unlock something about yourself, you learn a lot about yourself. Just how far you can push, what you're capable of, and it's just an extraordinary event for extraordinary people. Like, not the normal person does that, and that's why I love it.
I think the most important thing is respecting the race, not thinking it's going to be easy. All the races where I haven't done well is I've always gone in thinking, oh yeah, this is going to be easy. I'll just get to 24 and then I'll start, you know, then things will get hard. But in reality, these races get hard after 5, 6, 7 hours. And you've just got to, and you always got to constantly troubleshoot and take things very seriously, one loop at a time, one loop at a time.
During the race, like I felt like I had to give up, but then you just lock onto someone and just follow them, and you get through these patches where you feel like you're going to quit. And then around 24 hours, I just started watching all the athletic dudes sort of drop off. You'd just run past someone, they'll be keeled over. And I'm like, that dude's so fit. And I'm like, how did I beat that guy? I don't consider myself like a super athletic dude, but I like the fact that if you commit yourself and you sort of go into it with sort of a courageous attitude, you can certainly beat people that might be more athletic but less courageous or not willing to go as the distance. So I think that's the great thing about the sport is it levels the playing field. Every hour the playing field gets leveled, which means that there is the opportunity for people of all different running sort of shapes and sizes to have a good run. Yeah.
I'm going to make sure I put in a lot of work leading into MVP, doing at least 100 Ks a week, doing a lot of elevation, as much as I can. But it's also the time of year when it's hot, so I'm going to be running in the hot anyway. But I'm going to bring in an ice bath. I've already been thinking about my strategy between loops. I'm going to bring in an ice bath to sit in between loops, especially if it gets hot. You've been here practicing running the course a bit?
Yes, yeah, been practicing with good old Dan Farmer. Yeah, just trying to get this loop locked in my head and making sure on the 30s, maybe the 40s, who knows, maybe the 50s, that I'm no stranger to this course.
So he's going to be running the course a lot, so I've just got to at least keep up with him. So I don't want to be on like loop 40 and then Brandon look at me and say, you know, you should have run a few more times at MVP. Look how good, look how fit I am. So I've got to make sure that I'm there with him so he can't pull that on me on the day. I think a lot of it could be muscle memory. Like that's a way of trying to, maybe trying to get an advantage is because like these sorts of things you can sort of becomes a mind game and you can sort of get burnt out mentally. So if you can put some of that stuff in your muscle memory and not think about it, or you know that I've done this 1,000 times before, 1,001's not going to be hard, 1,002's not. So the idea that if you've got it in your muscle memory, you can deactivate a part of your brain on the race day. So that's just a theory, but I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah, one of the good things about MVP is, so it's one of those courses that tells you where to walk and where to run. There's some really nice hills that you're obviously going to walk up them, and then you're pretty much going to run the rest of the way because there's enough hills that are going to dictate where you're going to walk anyway. But there are the more you run the course, the more you're going to fine tune exactly where you're going to walk, and it depends how fast you want to run the loops. This next MVP, I'm going to be aiming to run them in about 52, 53 minutes, which will be the slowest loops I've done at MVP. Previously, I used to always try and get in under 50 minutes just because it's a psychological thing. But now I understand now with more experience that you don't need more than 10 minutes. 5, 6, 7 minutes is more than enough. Even 5 minutes is enough. So I'm not going to let myself get stressed if I'm coming in 55 minutes. As long as I'm in control, that's really all that matters.
What if everyone else gets in at 50 and you come in 5 minutes later? Won't that hurt your ego?
It won't, but the thing is, like, I think psychologically, like people who come, like especially if you're deep in a race, people who are coming in 50 minutes, but then they keep on watching this guy coming in with just a few minutes left, like they'll start thinking to themselves, what does it take to kill this guy? Do you know what I mean?
Just keep going. It's going to end eventually. It's just, you got to be the last one. Come on, Crow, keep going. The crow will be ready.